Oh, what a day! What a lovely day! Hello again guys, welcome back to another Apocolypse home workout. Today I'm going to be doing shoulders, and at the moment you can just see I'm warming up on an empty bar. Now what are my plans for this particular workout was to go up to basically maximum weight. I don't have any safety bars or anything like that on there, so I've got to be obviously somewhat careful. And one of the ways in which I make it a bit of a safer lift for me is as I go heavier, I stop doing any presses to the back of the head and I keep it all to the front. The reason for this is obviously when the bar's at the on the front of your body, resting on your chest rather than behind the back of your head. If you fail, well, you can just kind of stand up with it, basically squat with the bar and rack it. Where if it's behind your head, you're kind of screwed, basically. So always take safety into consideration, guys. But my plan, as I say, today was to go as heavy as possible. I've got some more weight now, so I've got more than enough for my shoulders at the very least. And I wanted to see what I could get. Now, obviously, in this particular workout, I don't have a bench that can fold upwards, so I have no back support. It's completely flat bench. That's mostly because of my body weight. All the benches that could fold that I could get for a reasonable price at least anyway, and that were available online still during the lockdown, were basically capable of holding only 200 kilos of total weight. Now that sounds great, and I thought at first, oh, that's brilliant, but then of course I considered, oh, hang on a minute, I weigh myself 130 kilograms, so sitting on a bench when you weigh only 130 kilograms means that the very, very most, pushing the equipment to its limits, meant that I would only be able to do anything up to 70 kilos. So I thought, no, okay, I've got to go get a more expensive, more sturdy bench, and that's exactly what I've got there. That bench can hold 500 kilos, so it's a very, very stable bench, but it unfortunately, as I say, doesn't fold upwards. Consequently, as a result of that, what I'm finding is that by doing the shoulder press today that I've been doing, I actually have been working a lot of my abs, a lot of my core, and a lot of my lower back also. So it's actually a great way of building up that mid-torso region as well as your shoulders at the same time. Now, you're not going to lift as much as you could in the gym, because by doing it in such a manner, you are making it harder. But it's a nice thing to have learnt. If that, all the lifts that I'm doing currently in my home gym and outside and that have all been really rigorous, as I say, within the core and abdominal region. And my abs are actually developing quite significantly. I'm losing weight around the waist, and I am developing my abs to a much greater degree than before, and without really having to train them. I've only done one dedicated ab workout during this entire lockdown, so it's an interesting point to take home. Now you see me actually doing some accessory workouts, as you can see at the moment. I'm doing a bit of shrugs here on 20 kilograms in each hand, and again another little variation here also. All these accessory movements that you see, I've just dispersed throughout the video for your self-interest, essentially, because I find that visually it makes it a little easier to follow the workout, makes it a little bit more interesting, breaks it up a little bit. But I actually did all these accessory movements over 3 giant sets. So everything you see which is not a seated shoulder press was done at the end of the workout over 3 supersets, essentially, or giant sets. Consequently, you can see I'm in a lot of pain because the pressure in your shoulders builds up and up and up when you do this. When you vary what you're doing, when you get, when you're doing something like a set, for example, you push it to the absolute limit, you can still get that little bit more out of you. Now, you can't get it out on the same movement. Okay, because of course if you've pushed it to the limit, you've blown out. But if you just change the angle or the manner in which you do the lift, or you change the weight, or just change something about it, change one variable, you can normally then squeeze out a couple more reps, or even quite a few more, especially if you change the weight. And that is just the best way then to literally push your muscles not only to the limit, but then obviously of course beyond the limit. You keep that burn in there, and that really helps develop or promote hypertrophy in the muscles, because you're just forcing so much blood into the muscles, and of course blood can carries your oxygen, it carries your nutrition, your food to your muscles, which then allows them to pump up, and then obviously of course in response to that over time grow. If you do this kind of training regularly, it really can shock the muscles into growth. So if you're a hard gainer, guys, this is the kind of stuff you need to do. Now what I got up to for my final lift on the shoulder press press was a little bit under perhaps what I might be able to get in the gym, as I say, because of the equipment. It's hard to say because normally I do this on a Smith machine, if I'm honest with you, because I find the Smith machine is a lot safer, it's a lot smoother, and it's a little bit easier obviously as well, but not significantly easier. But you know, on a shoulder press I can shift quite a lot of weight, whereas on here, as I say, with an unsupported back, I get to, I'm not going to tell you whether I get it or not, but my last and final attempt was 95 kilograms, and you'll see that at the end of the workout. So I still put in, you know, pretty hefty weights above my head, but I go there quite slowly. I've said on previous videos before that for me, warm-ups are a place to really not really burn yourself out. So I don't really commit to a lot of reps on my warm-ups. I might do a lot of sets, but I keep the reps low. However, you will have seen earlier in the video me doing a few reps both to the front and to the back of the head on the lighter weights for numerous reps. Not massive amount of reps, but quite a lot for me for a warm-up set. And the reason for this is, the reason I do this is because the shoulder joint is a very unstable joint. It's the most mobile joint in the body, in the human body, the shoulder joint. It almost has 360-degree rotation, not quite, and obviously in someone like me, perhaps I'm a little bit stiffer, so a little bit less in me than someone else, but regardless, it's a highly mobile joint. However, for that mobility, it does sacrifice stability, and this is why shoulder injuries are very common, especially amongst bodybuilders and other disciplines and sports similar to that, especially throwers, for example. The baseball throwers, all that kind of stuff, cricket players, and the reason for this is as I say, because the shoulder doesn't have as many ligaments in it as, say, the elbow or the knee or anything along those lines, or the ligaments certainly don't restrict, because they don't restrict the movement, they don't protect the joint as much either. And the number of times you'll hear bodybuilders complaining that they've got a rotator cuff tear or frozen shoulder or anything along these lines, it's because of the instability in the joint. And this is why I do as much of a warm-up as possible on shoulders on a lighter weight, because if I feel a niggle, even just the slightest niggle during my workout at the very beginning on a light weight, then I know to stop. I don't push it, I don't continue, I don't even continue on a light weight, let alone go heavier. I end the workout there and do something else, or I call it a day, one or two, because the shoulders are something that are so integral to so many different movements, you can't afford to mess them up. And the only way to guarantee that is to back away if there are any niggles or pains. Now, one of the common causes of shoulder pain in weightlifters is actually going too low with your rep. Okay, ideally, you know, when you go on like the online forums and that, for example, you get a lot of guys saying, oh, you got to go deeper than that, or you're not going deep enough, that's not a rep, that's like a 3/4 rep or whatever, you know, that kind of shit, right? It's not true. To do a proper shoulder press, when you go into behind the back of the head, you really only want to go down halfway down to the skull, so about the level of the upper ear, essentially, or where my glasses are, ultimately. And when you do to the front of the body, that's fine, but often you'll be looking up to get your face out of the way of the bar, and I would always normally suggest that you really want to kind of aim for the chin. Okay, you've just seen my failed attempt there on my heaviest lift. You know, it's not by the way, just to let you know, and I bow out gracefully there. I know that you know, I'm not going to try that again, even though I could possibly get it with a bit of aggression. I know to walk away because I was scared at that weight, if I'm honest. But as I say, you really, you know, want to try prevent shoulder damage by going too low. You want to go like I'm doing there, to the chin. Okay, you don't actually restrict the working of the shoulder either, because if you go any lower than that, you're actually starting to employ the pectoral girdle, you're starting to use the chest a lot more. You're not working the shoulders, so actually you're kind of really supporting the shoulders with a chest movement, and that's not good. You want to focus on one particular muscle group, right? And so I would really recommend doing this kind of range of movement, guys. You may disagree, but that's obviously how I look at it and understand it. I'm just finishing off here, guys, on something that I all do in every workout, and that is 3 sets of 16 on 60 kilos. It's a great way to either start your workout or end it, but if you you start it, it's probably going to end the workout for you. So I'm doing 3 sets of 16 here on 60 kilos. If you do nothing else, do this, guys. Every front delt workout you do, always do this, and you will develop significant strength. You never need to go heavy, but of course it's nice to test your strength from time to time. I hope you enjoyed the workout, guys. I'll see you soon, and goodbye.